I could get drunk off the lights of a city. Late night phone calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't. Drop my phone out, that shit's broken. 2 a.m. and I'm lost in Brooklyn, missing home. I know you don't. When we were on, I'd always thought we would make it, but now
Alrighty, what's going on, Smite Draft League? Welcome back to another fantastic week of our gameplay here. This is the Immortal division with Sunbreakers versus Flourish. My name is Zexous, and I am joined once again by the lovely Cosmic Warrior.
Hey man, how's it going? I'm feeling good about this one. We got a game of Immortal here, getting right into it. Immediately we see both teams coming out, and we got some good picks on either side. Immediately the ones that stick out, the top picks here, in my opinion, we got Merlin, of course, speaks for itself. We also have Freya, one of the top magical ADCs that we've seen been running so rampant in season 10. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Freya's been a top ban, both in ranked and in competitive play. So those are the two big hitters I'm looking at right immediately.
Definitely, and what I'm looking at as well is Realty on this Morgan Le Fay. We've seen Realty pop off on this pick before. Last last time I saw Realty play it, we saw him go more to a more tanky kind of route with a little bit of damage. So I'm wondering if he's gonna run that back or if he's gonna do something different this time. But excited to see how this goes. And yeah, I guess without further ado, we've seen what we all have locked in. Let's just take it right into the game.
I could get drunk off the lights of a city. Late night phone calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't. Drop my phone out, that shit's broken. 2 a.m. and I'm lost in Brooklyn, missing home. I know you don't. When we were on, I'd always thought we would make it, but now you're gone. Baby, you're a ghost. I'm caught up in a landslide, mental on the low end. When I used to feel alive, now there's a hole in the city, can't feel shit. Where do I go? Cause I know you don't feel this. Can't catch a break for God's sakes. Feel like I'm waking up and I'm caught in a wake. Yeah, I know this is my funeral on parade. I did it to myself cause I always thought you would feel the same, and I know you don't. Drunk off the lights of a city. Late night phone calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't. Drop my phone out, that shit's broken. 2 a.m. and I'm lost in Brooklyn, missing home. I know you don't. Let's hit the brakes. I'm pulling out the parachute, jumping out the plane. You had it all in front of you, nothing feels the same. It's crazy what love can do, even crazier when it's not coming back to you. You say you need space, so I gave you all the states. Every night a different place. Used to think we're getting close and now we're drifting away. And all I can say is that I'm feeling wasted. I could get drunk off the lights of a city. Late night phone calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't. Drop my phone out, that shit's broken. 2 a.m. and I'm lost in Brooklyn, missing home. I know you don't. When we were on, I always thought we would make it. Now you're gone.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We have now officially loaded into game one. Once again, my name is Zexous, joined by the Cosmic Warrior, as all these buffs have finally started to drop.
Speaking of Remarkable Wolf, we see him just constantly, anytime he can, playing this ROM. And, it's just not one that we've seen too many teams ban against him, which is interesting because he plays it so much. I think he got banned away from him one time in Season 1. Wasn't looking too hot, unfortunately. And just the fact that it is such a high priority pick anyway, ignoring the fact that he's just insane on him, just not too many bans. Hold on. Solo laners
is just
are solo
completely
laning.
the solo lane is just completely, we're clashing heads right there, and both make it out with the skin of their teeth. That might be one of those exchanges where I wasn't too sure which way that could have went, but both of them pull out at the last second. Neither will die in that regard, as we're going into dual lane, but nothing will come of that. Back into the solo, pressure onto the side of PusPusioden on the Thor. So
Yeah, it looked like they got a little bit of cold feet, but yeah, just people haven't been prioritizing the Rama ban, which is interesting. I think that's not the worst thing you can do. ShadyByrd, come here in the mid lane. Szax kind of deep, it seems. Luckily, no, Dashi just able to dash on out of there, not too concerned about anything. Not even the victim of much poke.
definitely, Szax will be able to save himself nice and easy. Another attempt gone there, but won't pick up anything. And ShadyByrd will hop back into the mid to find a little bit of safety there. I know we've seen Realty before do this. Opts to not go for the starter item. Is only actually
Ooh.
going to pop the beats himself right there. So a very nice pickup from ShadyByrd. Going to be taking a little bit of that safety away from the mid laner.
Yeah, the no starter item is interesting. Ooh.
Oh, we'll get it! The first blood goes to the arrow of the archer, but will be gifted to PusPusioden. That's a first blood for the Thor.
Those archers, man, they sneak up on you, dude. They do tons of damage. There'll be times I'm just fighting in solo lane. I end up dying. I press T, and I've taken like 400 or 500 damage from archer minions. It's absurd. You can't let those archers catch you off guard.
Definitely, and what we just saw there might have been A1 getting caught off guard by the archer. Will be claiming his life and gets sent back to base probably earlier than he would have liked. Looking for a stun from Tatri, will not find it. Flourish retreats under the dual lane T1 tower, safe and sound. Right, caught out though. Szax is going to be chased down by PusPusioden and ShadyByrd. Manages to get the stun off. Still going to be on the chase, but A1 has sniffed out the chase himself and will be able to send Sunbreakers back into the jungle. But we'll look at this blue buff invade.
Yeah, this blue buff's gonna be pretty free, it seemed. But Zexous did get
into the
other blue buff.
sky is PusPusioden will be launching right back onto A1. And ShadyByrd sniffs him out, getting lucky to deal some extra damage. Wall is going to be good. The jump will be better from A1, and we'll be able to keep him alive.
Yeah, lots of skirmishes going on in the right side of the map. I want to focus my attention a little bit onto this duo side. We noticed that Fred did opt for the Gilded Arrow, which I think is the move on most of the magical hunters or magical ADCs. But I think on Freya, Conduit Gem is just a little bit better. You get the damage on every single auto attack of your 2. And your wave clear is just so insane. It seems like they've been struggling a little bit in the clear just because Rama is Rama. Obviously, it's not the case right now as he had backed. Ooh. Man, A1 is having a rough time here in the solo lane against Poseidon on this Thor.
Playing with fire. Thor actually really does ring out a lot of big base damage just without the damage items. Throw a little bit of tankiness in there, and he's going to be swinging. Haven't seen that yet, as they are. It looks like they're both working on getting Soul Eaters online, so you're going to see a little bit more of that that lifesteal route from both the ability characters.
Yeah, and there's kind of like 2 builds that you typically see on Colin. You see this one with the Warding Sigil Soul Eater going for hyper tankiness, and there's another one where you go Bluestone, which pretty common on Colin, and then you go into just your normal defense item, your Contagion, your Glad Shield. I think I tend to prefer the Soul Eater with the warding sigil, just because, I mean, I've just seen people go absolutely crazy as Szax gets ganged up on by 3, but he's
Let's
able to
get
walk
spots
away.
up, but Realty gets hopped on by Tenebrises, and we'll be able to push him back under tower. And with that, Szax will go back onto those right side harpies, and we'll finally be able to snag him for himself.
He wants those minions. They didn't want to let him have it, but you know, he's gonna get it. Down the mid lane, Tatri under a bit of fire here. Good self peel though. Not too much to worry about here. Just a bit of poking back and forth. But can't say the same in solo lane. Oh my! They both died. They traded off.
Another
Crazy. 2
1-for-1.
hamburgers.
They are really just clashing heads, and we love to see it. Both of them will get sent back to the grave, but we'll get a little bit of gold and XP for themselves to get a nice little 1-for-1 on both sides of the table. I am really digging the soul and how these guys are just completely going at it till the very end. You'll love to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. See Poseidon with about 24 more stacks on that soul eater compared to A1. So impressive that he was able to trade off. I'm sure he's not too upset having to trade off. He was a little bit behind. Other than that, it looks like he will be going into the prophetic cloak, which I like to see that item. It's completely insane, even on solo laners. Whereas Poseidon looking more towards the glad shield, I'd have to assume that's going to be built into.
A little bit more damage coming out on that Cullen's side, and you know, it's never a bad thing to have. You know, the sustain also does wonders, so Cullen is going to be doing great with that. Or Thor, rather. As Poseidon steps up, and A1 is going to go right at him under this. Doesn't even care about the minion wave.
Might have
Still
to.
damage down, but
Taking a little bit lower.
He is getting a little bit lower. That might be what Poseidon wants, though. As finally gets put under tower, wall will be good. And get a hit off of the hammer on that, and that'll send him packing for now.
Yeah, definitely a fun skirmish. Normally we see a lot of action on the duo side just because junglers tend to gank that lane early. And speaking of action, here in the mid lane, Szax might finally get punished for his greed on these minions.
Definitely getting into the Palo is going to pull off Tatri. Tatri is going to pop the beads there, and there comes the Dharmic Pillars. PostDRAMA is stuck in between a wall and a hard place. Arrows are coming down for RemarkableWolf, and Shady will clean up the kill on the PostDRAMA. That's going right to the camera. 4 strong on the Gold Fury side. Interesting, maybe if they're going to pull up to not, and just look for any additional farm they can steal in their jungle, possibly.
You know, I think there's been like kind of like a sneaky. Can I say something without the solo lane just going ham? Another solo kill in the solo lane? I mean, this is insane. This is content right here. This is what you want to see.
Definitely another pickup kill coming from Poseidon on the Thor. It's gonna knock down A1 once again. But these solo laners are really going at it and really just want to make it loud and clear that they are brawling in this lane.
Absolutely. I mean, this is what solo lane is all about. Szax dashing in, RemarkableWolf, unconcerned, safe under his tower. Not much for Flourish to really find over here. No camps up, and Sunbreakers also positioned over here. Can fight if they want to. PostDRAMA got caught out right in this exact spot last time, but looking like the Sunbreakers pointing their attention elsewhere.
Definitely showing zero fear in that regard. Back off there, really just kind of pushing up waves, not too high up in levels quite yet to really threaten the Gold Fury just yet. So looking for the small wins right now, if anything. I'm really interested. I really want to know what Realty is going to go here. If we're going to see this tanky Morgan Le Fay once again.
Yeah, normally when you think tanky mid laners, like immediately the first thing I think of is Hell. Like Hell with the breastplate of regrowth sickle has been pretty prevalent recently in season 10, and it's really obnoxious because she still does insane amount of damage, helps her team, and doesn't die. So that can be really annoying. But you know, maybe Realty is just a gamer.
Szax getting the chase on. PostDRAMA is stuck in between a rock, right into the powwow. Is Szax gonna pull off Tatri away? By the hell coming, and there comes the Anvil of Dawn coming up from PusPusioden. ShadyByrd will finally claim Szax. Szax goes down, and that's going to be all that is to it. A very nice 2 for none coming out from on the side of the Sunbreakers, and RemarkableWolf gonna do a nice little cleanup, and Pyromancer going to be looked at next by the Sunbreakers. Will go down, not a problem to spare, and a very nice 2-for-0 exchange into a Pyromancer for Sunbreakers.
Yeah, really great positioning overall this game by Sunbreakers. They're really where they need to be. They're grouping up effectively, and we just saw a keen example of that. I don't need to talk about Tatri with these walls. It seemed like what I was trying to say earlier was that there was kind of a sneaky buff to players with walls like Kabrak and Ymir, just because of how many natural walls there are on this map. There are lots of little corridors where you can get a very effective wall that if a player doesn't have a leap or some way to get through it, then it's going to be a rough time. That being said, PostDRAMA is playing Ganesh, so if you save that dash a little bit, use it less aggressively in certain situations, it won't be too big of an issue. But Tatri has been having some very effective walls this game.
Yeah, and the walls have been looking great coming off the Kabrak, and PostDRAMA going to have to be, and there goes those walls once again. Cage the elephant. Elephant goes down. Shady's going to pick up one more into the powwow from Szax. Isn't going to find a target into the Astral Barrage as well from RemarkableWolf. Will be able to take a few shots, but that's going to be it. Kind of stiffs out DRXKILLXJOY and is going to get the Valkyrie's Discretion out of him. And with that, the Gold Fury is going to be looked at next by the Sunbreakers, and should go down no problem. There's going to be much to contest here, so without further ado, there goes the Gold Fury, and it's looking really nice for the Sunbreakers right now.
It's not often that you see supports, Guardians in the support lane, building beads, but I think this was a very smart pickup by Tatri. There were some times where that Palo would have made it really rough for Tatri, possibly have gotten picked, but because of the effective use of the beads on someone you generally don't expect to, they've definitely done a very good job of mitigating the losses, and it hasn't seemed like they're missing out on too much by not building a different relic like a med or a shell, because they just haven't really been needing it just because of the way that they've been playing.
Yeah, definitely been able to ride the high, and definitely was a good and smart pick by Tatri, a heads-up play from him right there. Because yeah, I definitely agree with you. I definitely think the powwow would cause so much problems coming from a Kabrak in terms of if the team rallies. There's a whole lot of combo potential as well coming after the powwow too. So I like the beats pickup. I think it's good.
Absolutely, very good demonstration of just understanding, and also just great coordination by the team. Just knowing that you're not going to be able to rely on a shell or a med or anything like that. Poseidon having to rely on the ult.
Gets into the Anvil of Dawn just in time to get himself out, but is going to be chased down by PostDRAMA. Dark Pillars do get dropped, and PusPusioden will just teleport it out, no big deal. And now he's still alive, and there's another ult off the board. So there you go.
Yeah, I think Ganesha just generally has a really good matchup in the Bracken, but it's just been having such a tough time. As I said, being able to dash through the walls, not too many players know about that, but I mean, the elephant's dash is 3 is literally called remove obstacles. But he's just been having such a tough time with that, despite being able to silence out the tremors and whatnot. It's PostDRAMA not looking quite as solid as you might want your elephant to be. And seeing the effect of that in this dual lane is RemarkableWolf 2 levels on Killjoy. I think a lot of that can be due to the fact that she didn't opt to go the Conduit gem, decided to go for the Gilded Arrow, and the clear has certainly been suffering.
Definitely, the fight back a little bit more difficult in that. And it's just going to get completely chunked off by RemarkableWolf right there. Going into the skies, looking for one more. Will not be good. Does sniff out the Valkyrie's Discretion after Killjoy. Going back into the jungle side, Pyro side. Back into the powwow is Szax. It's going to force out the bat out of the hell. PostDRAMA, very low, is going to have to try and get himself out. A1 is going to clean up Tatri. and then is going to claim one more, but PusPusioden's going to take out PostDRAMA, and that's 2 for 1 right there. And we'll see if there's going to be any more. A1 goes back into mid to join off the fight, and is going to be just pushing back PusPusioden on the tower, and that looks like that's going to be the fight all in all. But looks like A1 just wants more.
He's not done, you know, he's pressuring out those Bastions, just taking this a little bit of momentum that Flourish had found themselves. You know, great play. Just Sunbreakers have been in complete control, but after that little skirmish, I'm sure Flourish are very happy with how that one went. PostDRAMA, having one of those support games, you know, it happens. Rough to deal with at times. Ooh, PusPusioden getting in hot, but you know, Realty not too concerned. Just a little bit of poke coming out from him. He's not full damage, so not doing as much as a jungler, but he is still 5-1. That is over half of Sunbreakers kills. He'd be a very strong target. I understand why they were committing so much to him on the right side of the map, but now it's all about this Gold Fury coming up.
It's all about the elephant walking away, though. It's going to find himself in the
Not up.
Tatri. One wall down. There comes another. It's going to lock him down, and Post has nowhere to go. A very nice double whoop coming out for DRXKILLXJOY, but will not be enough to save his life. As you do see, Gold Fury is getting looked at by Sunbreakers. Now, we did see PusPusioden go in the skies as well. Lands back in mid. It's going to try and find DRXKILLXJOY. Won't, though. And then
there we go.
Ultimate is good, and Realty secures off PusPusioden. So he will fall. Luckily, the Pyro will also go to the side of Flourish too. So looking good for Flourish in terms of mounting a comeback here.
Yeah, nice little bounty gold that Realty got on the 5-1 Poseidon. Now 5-2. Still very, very strong at this point. But, you know, it's nice to see that Flourish has a little bit of life in them. Getting a pick in mid lane might be a little bit due to a bit of an overextension by Puss, but able to get the Pyromancer. Unfortunately, do have to trade the gold, but, you know, even on the rest of the map, you know, they have the tier 1 down. And, you know, it's just, you can't count them out yet. You know, you have Freya, very, very late game. Looks like we have Realty picking up Warrior's Axe and a Prophetic Cloak. So there you have it, the tanky Morgan Le Fay build as you had predicted.
Yeah, we've seen this before, and we're gonna see it again. Did wonders last time we saw Realty play it, so I'm really interested to see how this game is going to end, turn out for Realty here. As A1 once again taking another fight with PusPusioden. We'll wall him off and get on out, and that's all they're gonna be is to that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing this, how this tanky build works. I have not seen the game where he had built it, and maybe it's exactly what Flourish need to come back into this one. But yeah, as I was saying, they have, you know, fairly late game team comp. Freya, I mean, the queen of late game damage. And, you know, once this Morgan Le Fay comes online with a little bit of the extra tankiness, get some cloak stacks, this might be a completely different game we're casting.
Yeah, and it's going to be something interesting to really see if they can safely get this Freya to the late game and not give up too much more control of the map to Sunbreakers. I think Flourish might have something to cook with here, as Szax is going to be looping around onto Poseidon. Blink is going to be good, but the wall is going to be better for Poseidon. It's going to get blinked on by Szax. Ultimate is going to be good off of A1. It's going into it, but won't be quick enough as Szax picks him up.
Merlin, Tenebrises, looping over, trying to defend that tier 2. Ooh,
But Szax goes in, going right up into the power. It's going to find one more, but one more shot to do it. Won't actually find it, but blinks in from A1. And Aegis is going to be used as well. A1, one more will do it. One more will be good. A1 gets the kill off of the Merlin, and is going to send him packing, going back into the jungle. ShadyByrd looking for a piece of Realty, gets forced into the battle of hell. Realty's ultimate also used as well. So, and that's what is happening.
Interesting skirmishes on all sides of the map here in the mid lane as well as the right side. You know, that was a little bit unfortunate for Tenet. Got Szax really, really low. A1 also dropping really low after that tower dive. solid Aegis, but not quite enough to save him. And yeah, nice little exchange of ults here in the mid lane, just in that weird little phase before players really want to start committing to that Fire Giant dance, which sounds a little bit weird because Fire Giant dance is just both teams not really wanting to commit to taking the Fire Giant. But you know, DRXKILLXJOY just this whole time just been trying to farm up, trying to be an effective asset of this team. She has not been having the best game, unfortunately. But you know, come these team fights, hopefully, with all the farming, able to make a little bit of difference.
Luckily, just ticked over the level 17 on the Freya, so good times are not that far away, as almost pushing towards that max level. And once that happens, the Freya is really going to be able to make an impact on a lot of these fights.
Absolutely, and you know that's not to deny the late game carry potential of Rama, especially RemarkableWolf's Rama. You know, just getting some crit online, lots of pen. Those autos are gonna be hitting so much so that they're able to get the gold free with just 2 people. Flourish trying to answer back with this pyro, but Shady and RemarkableWolf are coming on their way.
That's
They
it,
are able
and
to secure it.
does go off to the side of Flourish, going right into the sky. Here he comes, lands on it. RemarkableWolf picks up A1. Backwards discretion is being used up, and there goes the Dharmic Pillars. Is going to grab one. Double whoop will claim 3. Into the skies is szax. Off of that palo is going to find 1, but then RemarkableWolf hitting the triple kill with the ultimate is going to send them all going. And that looks like that's going to group for a Fire Giant off of the Sunbreakers here, as it is just slowly melting by, and there is not much Flourish around to even contest. Only Realty and Killjoy still standing, but unfortunately, we'll probably have to let this one go to the Sunbreakers.
Yeah, now it's kind of at the point where this is definitely looking rough for Flourish. Sunbreakers get the Fire Giant. They've been ahead for a considerable amount of time. You know, I was talking about, you know, a little bit of comeback potential, but that is slowly fading away. But Killjoy doing her best, trying to farm up, hit level 20, and really do as much damage as she can to try and defend against this Fire Giant siege, which I suspect is going to be coming up soon. Looks like they're grouping in the left side, maybe get that left tier 2, mid tier 2, before going for a Phoenix. Tends to be the route that these players try to do once they get that first Fire Giant.
Definitely, and with not really too haven't really started the siege quite yet off the Sunbreakers. Is slowly starting to group around that left hand side now, so might be looking to push down that left lane. So we see 4 strong going there. We see Thor running it down mid, so we'll probably try and push up that as well and look to join them later with the ultimate.
Yeah, that's definitely one thing, you know, I think we don't see enough of really is having a solo laner or jungler, someone trying to just separate the team fight. I don't think it's quite as important when it comes to these tier 2 stages. Tier 2s tend to be a little bit free. Players not trying to commit as much, trying to defend it. But A1 in a little bit deep here. Pretty healthy though still, but he's got 5 people looking at him.
Definitely. There goes the Dharmic Pillars. It's going to stop Tatri right in his tracks and is going to keep him away. Keep this T2 tower, and mid still standing as well for Flourish. As once again, Sunbreakers regrouping are going to go back in looking for this T2 tower in mid. Blink coming in from A1 is going to find the triple knockup. Is going to be good, but is going to be good enough. Tatri finds one, and Killjoy is going to end the response into the Anvil of Dawn. Battle of Hell claims another. That's RemarkableWolf picking up one for his own, and Killjoy finally lands, but he's on the menu as PusPusioden is going to clean up him with a switch shot of the hammer.
Yeah, now this is just Sunbreaker's game. They're waiting for this minion wave. Going to get this tier 2 very, very quickly. By the time I can even finish saying my sentence, it is dropping. And now they're looking at this Phoenix. It's all theirs if they want it. They're going to get it. Realty's got a large task to defend this one.
Definitely, it is going to be completely tough. Finally drops that mid Phoenix, and looks like they're gonna opt to play it safe. They're gonna go towards that right hand side, look at the T2 tower, and maybe cut it from there. Maybe just back and reset. Looks like that is going to be what we're seeing. So yep, so Sunbreakers get the tower, get a Phoenix, and yeah, a very nice push off from the Sunbreakers, and it is looking good for this next push for him.
Absolutely. They're in complete control of this. They're opting to back up, fully regroup with 5, get their health bars a little bit up, finish off some of the vital items. Most carries of the Sunbreakers hitting level 20. Jungle only level 19, but not too concerned. Still a level ahead of Flourish Jungler, but now actually Flourish who pulls the first Primal Fury, but it's just going to be rough if they try to step up to this one. Here comes Puss into the back line.
Yeah, Puss has his eyes shot on A1 and PostDRAMA, and is going to get the jump out from A1 as they're all forcibly retreating now back into to their jungle. And you know, Sunbreakers will do the same. They're not really too picky what fight they need to take right now. They are very keen on playing it slow and waiting for the next fire to come up, take that, and then look for that last push, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. There's still considerable amount of fed. It's about 11 or 12,000 gold lead. Most of the members being out leveled on the side of Flourish. Sunbreakers getting this fire giant. There's just absolutely nothing that the Flourish can do. They can't step up at all or risk getting wiped out, and it would just mean a quicker death. Sunbreakers taking their full leave. They know they have plenty of time.
Yep. They have all the time in the world right now, are fresh fire giant buffs to you know, grace their presence, and they just backed in bots. Now they're ready to kind of go on the last Hail Mary, the last shot down the lanes to really try and end off this game, to put them into a 1-0 lead in the set. It's definitely all playing right into the cards of Sunbreakers, and if they can play this next team fight well enough to get a good return, then it should be game no problem for the Sunbreakers.
Definitely not. And they're, you know, taking their time, pushing out as many waves, looking at this left side Phoenix. Flourish in a decent position to defend it. Looks like Post again a little bit outside of the map, but or outside of their Coliseum thing there. But not too much coming of it. Poseidon on the right side a little bit, trying to make some space for his team to push in. It's up to about half HP, but dividing the attention of 2.
He goes right up into the skies. The Giant Pillars does get dropped, is going to land into the back looking for Killjoy. Is he going to find it? Will have to TP himself out. In goes Szax, is going to go right up into the powwow. He is very low. RemarkableWolf also up into the skies.
Waiting.
Make it also that, but Shady is going to pick up Szax, and there goes those stones once again. Is going to tie up A1. RemarkableWolf finds one of those. Are going to march right back in onto this Phoenix. Is still standing about half. A very nice wall, going to find a very nice triple stun off push for Poseidon. It's going to push out Killjoy. Right, gets back in the base though, just to be able to save his life. And Sunbreakers gonna go right back in the mid, tarp down that one real quickly. A nice little loop finds up Poseidon. The PostDRAMA is gonna get completely stuck, stun off by Realty as well. Gonna send him back. Double kill coming up, and make it one more for RemarkableWolf as Realty finally kicks the bucket as well. And this Titan is dropping, and it is dead. That's one for the boys in Chaos.
I could get drunk off the lights of a city. Late night phone calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't. Drop my phone now, that shit's broken. 2 a.m. and I'm lost in Brooklyn, missing home. I know you don't. When we were on, I'd always thought we would make.
All right, welcome back to the desk segment here. We're going to talk about this game. It's incredible game 1 of the set. We still have another one after this. We got some changes that Flourish can definitely make, but we need to talk about the Sunbreakers performance here. Absolutely incredible. Some very nice looking KDs and a rather convincing victory by them. As I was saying, Poseidon was completely huge that game, was scrapping all the time in that solo lane, didn't change him at all, was going and rotating all throughout the maps, constantly in the backline, hitting 2-3-man stuns constantly, and was a major impact in the game at all stages.
Yeah, I agree. If you go into the dictionary and look up solo lane menace, you might find a picture of PusPusioden's store there. He was just all over the place. He was a complete, just making the chase downs, getting a lot of damage out there, spreading lots of those walls, getting a lot of meaningful stuns out. He was doing a lot of good stuff for the Sunbreakers, and was really able to make it happen out of that lane. And I know we were talking about some of the higher KD players, like, PostPusioden, ShadyByrd, and even RemarkableWolf with a very nice 7-0 on the Rama. But I really got to hand out to Tatri on the Cabrakan here. A lot of the ultimates, a lot of the walls were very strong coming out of this Cabrakan pick.
Yeah, absolutely. It seemed like they were also perfectly placed because, as I mentioned over and over again, PostDRAMA just being able to dash right through them, Tatri saving him for once that dash had already needed to be expended. Then PostDRAMA is, as you had said previously in the game, stuck between a rock and a hard place. Two players who can put down walls, and you're just going to be in for a rough time if you have no other way out. But yeah, great setups at all stages of the game. I mean, really, starting from that first fight, that first pick on a PostDRAMA, and just being consistent. Consistency is key. He was just hitting those walls over and over again. It was very hard for Flourish to deal with, and they just could not come back from it.
Yeah, and that pretty much is to a T what it was. It was also a really clean and nice played game by Sunbreakers as well. They were able to pretty much control the entire pace of the game for the most part. They had maybe one fight there that they lost a little bit to Flourish, but other than that, they were able to pick it back up right where they left off, and they played the game as clean as could be. In my opinion, I think they had a great game.
Absolutely, very clean. But will Flourish be able to come back and take us to a game number 3, or Sunbreakers going to close this set out 2-0? Find out next time in the next game. Don't go anywhere.
Jumping out the plane, you had it all in front of you, nothing feels the same. It's crazy what love can do, even crazier when it's not coming back to you. You say you need space, so I gave you all the states. Every night a different place, used to think we're getting close and now we're drifting away. And all I can say is that I'm feeling wasted. I could get drunk off the lights of a city, late night phone calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't. Drop my phone now, that shit's broken. 2 a.m. and I'm lost in Brooklyn, missing home. I know you don't. When we were on, I always thought we would make it.
Alrighty, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, I am Zex, joined once again by Cosmic Warrior. We are back in for Game 2 of Sunbreakers versus Flourish. In Game 1, we saw Sunbreakers take the set lead 1-0 so far, and going into the set, I'm interested to see what they're going to change or what's going to be taken away from Sunbreakers for this game.
Speaking of taken away, Thor immediately gone in the first three bans. Not surprised to see it at all. Poseidon in the solo lane was an absolute demon all the time, constantly fighting in the lane. I mean, I maybe have said it 100 times now, and just such a high impact character at all stages. So I'm not surprised to see them putting a lot of respect on that and valuing that. Hopefully, that's going to make Flourish have a little bit of an easier time. Other than that, pretty typical bans, lots of jungle bans, a few high priority guardians in the way of Mali and Yamoja. Definitely characters that I'm not too surprised to see in the ban list right there.
Here's another one. No Rama ban though.
Yeah, Remarkable Wolf was 7-0. He did really good. He does it a lot. Ooh, but we see him pick it. Okay. Picks it instead of banning it. That's always an option. And now we're seeing a complete reversal of the Hunters. Last time Remarkable Wolf was playing Rama and DRKILLXJOY was playing Freya. Now it's going to be Remarkable Wolf, I'd assume, on the Freya and Killjoy on the Rama. So it's really gonna come down to see if it was a character diff or just a skill diff. I don't want to say that and point too many fingers, but this
Ah,
is gonna be is it gonna be a clear cut evidence as to you know really what's going on.
possibly, but ADCs switch sides character wise, and we also see Surtur picked up as well, most likely going to PusPusioden in the solo lane. And to round that off for Flourish, we get Athena popped off to round out their phase one of the draft. Pretty solid support pick. You got great global presence. What more could you ask for support Athena?
Great global presence, and of course that beads burning, which I think is going to be very key with this Ao Kwang pick. Anytime this guy's fighting someone without beads, almost surely going to be executed. And I mean, just Ao Kwang is just Ao Kwang. I mean, he's a permaban in every single ranked game for a reason. His damage is just absurd. Really solid build paths, no matter how you decide to build him. Great mobility, escape, and just an all around solid character. And if you draft specifically to make him even better, then he has solo carry potential completely.
Yeah, I believe you. I definitely think that it is there, and yeah, there's not really much else to say other than that. Um, but looking at what we have selected so far, based on the top three picks for each team, which draft are you favoring at this point?
I think I like Flourish draft a little bit better. I think Rama is extremely strong. Not only is he just a strong character, but you pulled a remarkable wolf off of him. I mean, Surtur is an absolute lane bully, but his teamfight impact can be a little bit limited, which I think Poseidon's teamfight impact was one of the keys to Sunbreakers' victory. But we'll see if he can make it work. Athena and Bacchus, I think both are solid choices. Bacchus with the buffs that he saw coming into season 10 has really pushed him a little bit over the edge of what's meta and what's not. Some of the CC can be interrupted, but that flop is just such a strong CC, great mobility, and his ult as well. So yeah, pretty solid by both sides, but I think I'm leaning a little bit more towards Flourish, at least just in the first three picks.
Just in the first three, as going pretty much what we've seen so far out of the ban phase for round two is a lot of mages being looked at. We've seen the Morrigan and Tiamat taking off of Sunbreakers, and then we're seeing Thoth and Merlin being taken off of Flourish.
Yeah, Merlin just been absolutely an absolute staple in most sets, whether it's high priority pick, permaban, just it's one you see on this screen quite often here in season 10. Thoth not quite as much, but honestly, I feel like Thoth has been a little bit underrated in season 10. I think he has a great poke, which I mean the poke items are so strong, Soul Gem, and he's great with Book of Thoth. I mean it's literally in the name. He stacks Tablet of Destinies very very well and very safely. So I think it's actually a pretty solid ban.
So this might have flipped things. I see a Collie pickup coming off of Flourish. So that leads me to believe this could be an Ao Kuang solo.
It's definitely a possibility. I definitely prefer Ao Kuang in the jungle, but I definitely don't want to see a Kali solo. So yeah, we'll be an Ao Kuang solo. I mean, I've seen some Ao Kuang solos do some pretty devious things, and that's just because Ao Kuang is just a really good god in general. It doesn't really matter where you put him, as long as he's on your team, you're gonna be receiving the value. So they probably picked it as a flex potential. Maybe they think he's decent into the Surtur, and they don't really need him so much in the jungle. And Kali, obviously definitely not as good as an Ao Kuang, not one of the high priority junglers you tend to see. But I mean, Kali, I mean, just like Ao Kuang, you let Kali get ahead, has some very, very great carry potential.
Yeah, and we see all characters locked in. We'll do our picks when we load into the game. But as for that, everything is locked in, and we will see you guys into Game 2 of Flourish and Sunbreakers. See you guys soon. Don't go anywhere.
I could get drunk off the lights of a city. Late night phone calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't. Drop my phone now, that shit's broken. 2 a.m. and I'm lost in Brooklyn, missing home. I know you don't. When we were on, I'd always thought we would make it, but now you're gone. Baby, you're a ghost. I'm caught up in a landslide, mental on the low end. When I used to feel alive, now there's a hole in the city, can't feel shit. Where do I go? Cause I know you don't feel this. Can't catch a break for God's sakes. Feel like I'm waking up and I'm caught in the wake. Yeah, I know this is my funeral on parade. I did it to myself cause I always thought you would feel the same, and I know you don't. Drunk off the lights of a city, late night phone calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't. Drop my phone now, that shit's broken. 2 a.m. and I'm lost in Brooklyn, missing home. I know you don't. Let's hit the brakes. I'm pulling out the parachute, jumping out the plane. You had it all in front of you, nothing feels the same. It's crazy what love can do, even crazier when it's not coming back to you. You say you need space, so I gave you all the states. Every night a different place. Used to think we're getting close, and now we're drifting away. And all I can say is that I'm feeling wasted. I could get drunk off the lights of a city. Late night phone calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't. Drop my phone now, that shit's broken. 2 a.m. and I'm
All right, did you miss us, ladies and gentlemen? I bet you did, but no need to fret, because we are back for Game 2, as we are locked and low with Flourish and Sunbreakers. Once again, I am Zexous, joined by Cosmic Warrior.
This is an interesting game we got here. We got a particular matchup that I think I'm going to be looking towards quite a bit. We see Realty on the Baba Yaga. That's not what I'm concerned about, but we see 10 on the Pele mid. If this was season 9, I'd be like, okay, yeah, run it down. Season 10, though, with how strong mages are, it's definitely an interesting take. I mean, that's not to deny that assassins are still super powerful. But I mean, mid mages are so strong right now. It's an interesting take. And
Definitely.
again, the solo lane
I feel
immediately.
Am I watching the same game all over again?
Deja vu. And once
They-
again, Poseidon coming out a little bit on top in the engagement, able to clear a little bit quicker.
Side and A1 literally just they hit 2 and choose violence and decide to run at each other. And that's what's going on. A very nice imp throw is going to catch off A1.
Oh.
And PusPusioden claims up the first blood, sending A1 back to base. Once again, this game is starting off the same way as game 1. So hopefully for Flourish, though, there's something a little bit different in the plan this one.
Yeah, hopefully Flourish starts the same, doesn't end the same. Szax under a little bit of pressure.
Sash is good. Tene looking for that one last shot. Wolf finds Szax is staying alive under the tower.
Very, very close one there from Szax, and it's just again showing that a double assassin can be a very devious combination. You're in the dual lane. PostDRAMA under a little bit of distress here. Able to taunt out the Belch though. That's the only issue I have with Bacchus, is that it takes like 10.5 years for the Belch to come out, and everything under the sun can interrupt it. It's the one thing I don't like about Bacchus. Ooh!
Yeah, definitely. But we're looking back towards mid. Realty is going to claim up Tene of his own, and that's going to be one for the Baba Yaga.
Alright, so we're definitely not seeing the same game as last time. I'm definitely relieved to hear that. I'm sure Flourish fans are as well. It's interesting just how close Szax was to dying there, and then initial engagement just a minute or so later, it's Sunbreakers who end up losing somebody there. So interesting to see the turnaround there.
Yeah, definitely going to be dash out from PostDRAMA, and will be retreating themselves back to the lane as well, looking back, and then the solo lane. PostDRAMA wants a little bit more of A1. A1 not having the man to back it up. One more how to do it is down to 1, and the Archers will secure post for Poseidon, and A1's going down 0-2 early on its outflank. Double taunt coming up for PostDRAMA. We'll be bringing up RemarkableWolf back, but won't be able to find any more as PostDRAMA almost going right down to the bone. One more, we'll get the stun. Ooh. Shell is going to be popped to save both the lives of the dual lane of Flourish.
It seems like PostDRAMA was kind of a little bit close on that shell, but turned out to be very effective. I'm not sure if Tatri would have quite have had the damage. That's just an early game Guardian, but PostDRAMA not greeting it, using that shell, and now Sunbreakers using that pressure that they have to go and invade this perp. And I'm pointing out that RemarkableWolf built this conduit gem, and now they're the ones with the lane pressure. So, just goes to show I know what I'm talking about.
A little bit of display of what could have possibly happened in game 1 for on the other side of the coin for Flourish. Now looking good. Lots of pressure going out for the side of Sunbreakers.
ShadyByrd here in left lane. PostDRAMA, certainly the target is very low. They are close under tower.
Nice little flop there. Gets a nice little sash too. ShadyByrd sees what's going on, goes for the sash. Isn't going to find it though. Both very low for Flourish, but Szax is hovering around. Does spot out ShadyByrd. Might be on the chase as well. Kali looking to get a kill or two, looking to jumpstart her for getting online, but won't find anything of the sort. Back into soul lane. Imp throw will be no good on the A1, but PusPusioden has himself already a nice little 2-level lead out of the soul lane. Back in, Sash is going to be good. Is going to be taking Szax up into the skies, dropping down. Runaways from is going to be an intoxicate, followed by a whoop. Does get out in the destruction. But won't be good enough. A ShadyByrd will finally claim up Szax. A very nice chance at a turnaround for Szax, but wasn't able to find that last bit of damage to get it done, and walks away empty-handed, going back to base.
Yeah, not quite. I mean, it was a 3v1. He was there for so long. With, I believe, all 3 of the ultimates were up going into that fight. It was a little bit overzealous, I think, by Szax there. And Unwan having to use that ultimate just for a little bit of self-peel. Not how you really want to be using that ult.
Definitely tough right now in the life of Ao Kuang. Hasn't paled out the way A1 has been hoping it would have, but now he's found himself in a little bit of a situation. Szax is around to try and help alleviate some of that pressure. Does go on the PusPusioden, only enough to get him off of A1 momentarily, but not backing down anytime soon. Into the jungle though is ShadyByrd, finds a nice little sash onto Szax, but won't be enough to find anything after that. Back into dual land with both the hunters trading blows off of this wave, and not really much after that. Going back into the soul land, his PusPusioden is being chased down by PostDRAMA, won't be able to seal the deal. But on the other hand, Tennis coming on the other side is going to claim up PostDRAMA, and Pele is now on the board for the Sunbreakers. And one goes in for the Dragons, but not much else. And yeah,
it was a big commitment by Flourish there, trying to get Posto super low, but just already under tower, wasn't much that they could really do, and there was an unfortunate overcommitment by PostDRAMA. Sunbreakers now up 1-4 in their favor. Great right side presence that they showed here. They grouped up very quickly now and just taking the W's where they can. They got the kill into PostDRAMA, getting this blue buff. Pyromancer not up yet, so they can't really not too worried about that. But yeah, I think Sunbreakers still feeling confident, going off that first game win, getting a little bit ahead, about 1.5k gold lead, a few solo kills coming from the solo lane. So yeah, Sunbreakers are still feeling good.
yep. PusPusioden really feeling himself right now. Really looking good in the soul lane. Lots of pressure coming out from both. And looking towards back, nice little taunt coming out from PostDRAMA, but won't be much after that. So yeah, Sunbreakers have found themselves a nice little lead, and I'm interested to see how they're gonna play off it. If it's gonna be a nice little repeat of last game, looking good. Puts aside nice little aim throw, but won't find A1. A1 looking really here for way around their tower right now. Dash in from PostDRAMA on the ShadyByrd, but won't be anything after that.
Yeah, not too much. Was a bit of grouping around the Gold Fury. Definitely what the Sunbreakers want to go for here. So we're aggressing onto Szax. And the Sash onto Szax.
And szax ups, downs. Here comes the ultimate coming out from PostDRAMA. PostDRAMA lands down, looking for a taunt. Just gonna find the Shady. The Shady, beats as good, is gonna walk right back into his side of the jungle and will be safe and sound.
Forcing the beats off of the jungler, not the worst thing that Flourish could ask for. Definitely some potential there. PostDRAMA lands a nice little taunt, some follow-up damage by Flourish. Yeah, here we see Killjoy is still a whole level down on RemarkableWolf. Not really the position you want to be in. He's definitely been struggling a little bit in both games in this duel lane.
Definitely, it's especially tough on the side lanes for Flourish too, because A1's been finding himself on the back end of the soul lane as well. So having both those side lanes down for most parts of the game is definitely got to be a tough feeling for Flourish.
Certainly does. We'll be ticking over to the 10-minute mark here in about 30 seconds. We see both supports with their cloak online, 5 stacks. A1 in a bit of trouble
A1,
here.
and he gets pulled up into the Windfire wheels coming off from Shady. Is going to drop him down. Is going to be good with the teleport. Will save his life under tower. A very nice play coming out from A1 to keep himself alive.
Definitely cutting it a little bit close there, but could have been a lot worse for Flourish. Yeah, I mean, Sunbreakers are just having so much presence on all sides of the map. Here we see some of them up here on the left side. They are backing away, but RemarkableWolf not too scared. Plenty of solo potential. Killjoy having to fall back. But yeah, I mean, Sunbreakers are really, positioning well in all of these team fights. Great rotations out of the mid lane, and they're just understanding their advantages and where they have them on the map and playing them to their fullest extent.
Yep, and that's pretty much the name of the game right now. Is they're looking for these small wins and they're trying to bank off them. A lot of times we're seeing Sunbreakers get small picks and then we're seeing them go right into the buff invades, and that's where they're finding their small leads right now. And once this transpires into Gold Furies or Pyromancers, then we could really see the Sunbreakers start to pull ahead.
Certainly a possibility, always is. You know, the game is never really decided at the 10-11 minute mark. Still plenty of Smite left to be played. Neither team out of the count yet.
Definitely PostDRAMA going to be stunned out by the Belch, but nothing after that is going to be nice and okay for the Athena, as right now, game just a small little standstill, but PostDRAMA might have found himself in a very bad spot, taken up into the Windfire Wheels by ShadyByrd, lands back down, and Tenebrises will clean him up. That's another one for the Pele at a 2-1 right now.
Now they're looking at this Gold Fury. It's going to be tough for Flourish to step up without their support. It's going to be hard to front line that, but definitely some burst steal potential from Realty. That's exactly what he's looking for. Plus zoning too, but Realty still in a position, not able to take it away. Now they got to get out of there. Defender of Olympus comes through. PostDRAMA back in, might be back out just as quickly. Oh,
And right you
no.
are, as PostDRAMA quickly falls right back in. But going back to himself, Szax is going in. Szax finds one, cleans up the Pele. Astro Mirage is also used, but does not claim up very low as Tatri. So a couple of shots from DRKILLXJOY was good, but not enough to send him packing. And the Bacchus will get to live on another day.
Certainly will. Unfortunately, can't say the same for PusDRAMA or 10. You know, decent trade, I think, for Flourish. Unfortunately, weren't able to steal that Gold Fury away. But again, as I was saying in the last game, just a little bit of life showing from Flourish. No, just want to let us know they're not out yet. They're definitely gonna fight this one as long as it takes.
Definitely, and a very nice, a really nice showing coming from the jungler Flourish. You know, Szax going in there, mage, and to claim up a kill of his own, and was able to get out as well. So, not out of it just yet. Are able to make plays in and out. So, if they can keep up that, find the small wins, Flourish might find themselves back in this game.
Yep, certainly can. Now Sunbreakers still pushing their lead, trying to go for this Pyro. PostDRAMA stepping up, but might spell trouble for him.
And looks like it's all he's going to find once again. Back up into the Windfire Wheels by Shady. Lands down, and Tenebrises is going to clean him up once again. Hop up into the sky. Szax finds one of his own. Going to clean up the Najah. And then here comes A1. This is looking real good for Flourish. Going into the home sweet home. And is finally going to clean up Tatri. And then next on the menu is PusPusioden. Lots of damage coming out from Realty and A1. Not enough to clean up the Surtur, though, but still a really good fight coming out of Flourish. And they're going to combo that up with a Pyromancer. What a really strong fight coming out from the boys.
Yeah, great. We want to see
Does
it
it look
over.
a very nice double taunt coming out off of PostDRAMA. Makes it go right up into the Valkyrie's discretion for a little bit, but might not save RemarkableWolf's life, as a very nice dash coming out from Shady is going to claim one, and RemarkableWolf is still alive. A double kill from the Najah sends two of Flourish packing back home, and Sunbreakers answer back.
Oh, that was looking so good for Flourish right there. They had that nice little bit of comeback that they had. Fortunately, just a small mistake right at the end of the fight really makes it a little bit rough. They are able to close up the gold lead by just a tad, but oh, would have been much better if Flourish didn't lose two right at the end there. Feels bad if you're a Flourish fan.
Yeah, that's tough. It was definitely one of those, maybe we should have pulled back a little sooner than later, and at that expense they lose two of their members right off the a very nice fight where they were claiming 2 or 3 for themselves. So almost, you know, leading back, barely profiting is got to be a feels bad in that moment for Flourish. But you know, 6-9 scores, so they're looking pretty good. Now they're down less than 1,000 gold, so you know, Flourish, you know, the grass is greener, I will say, for Flourish.
Certainly is, and you know, it's interesting to see the difference that Realty has made, opting not to go for the tankier style of mid lane mage. on this Baba Yaga. Definitely one I think most people would prefer. Tanky Midlander is not something you see too often, excluding, of course, the what I had mentioned earlier with the Hell. And it seems like he's definitely working out a little bit more. Seems like Realty's pumping out quite a bit of damage, especially onto some of these uh, tankier characters like Tatri or Puss. So, I'm liking the change, and it seems to be working out for them as well.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're they're on the right footing with the Yaga, and it's only going to get better as this character gets more items online. Is really going to find a lot of that 1-2 shot potential come the late game. And going right in is PostDRAMA. That she's been looking for a few. Shady is going to go low. Is going to have to force ult out. So he's going to have to expend the Windfire Wheels just to save his life. Gold Fury gets pulled off by Flourish. But, Sunbreakers 4 strong is around. Aren't going to let this go for free. Gets dropped off by Flourish. And now Gold Fury still standing as we're going to see a nice little dance coming from the back. We do see szax at the back, but PostDRAMA is going to get looked on and aggressed on by PusP. Tatri is going to claim up PostDRAMA, and going into the backline up into the skies is DRXKILLXJOY. Szax is going to claim up Tenebrises, but Surtur ult is going to get launched down by PusP. Going the shots, Valkyrie's Discretion will claim up DRXKILLXJOY to secure up the double kill for RemarkableWolf. Back into the jungle. Szax is in trouble. Finds himself in between two. It's going to turn it behind on ShadyByrd, though. It's going to clean himself alive, but on the chase, coming off from the Surtur. Ultimate from PostDRAMA will keep him good, and now on the retreat is PusP. As Realty is pumping out tons of damage, drops in. It gets joined off by Tatri. Tatri low for himself, though. And now Sunbreakers on the retreat, too. Tatri, very low, is still going to get the jump out. Home Sweet Home gets dropped off by Realty. Going to try to pump out tons of damage into PusP to try and bring down this Surtur, but to no avail. This Surtur is standing tall. And then brings it back on the PostDRAMA as RemarkableWolf brings them on down. Surtur ult is going to be used to negate the execution off of A1, and that's going to get him a little bit of ways out. Szax is around onto the back end, though. Is going to be RemarkableWolf getting picked up by A1. Going back in, Windfire Wheels picks up Szax. Szax comes down, and Tatri follows up to claim the kill for himself.
A rough fight for Flourish. They are able to pick up some, so it's not the end of the world. All started by Flourish trying to pull that Oni Fury, which is still standing after this long extended team fight. Now, A1 and Tatri looking at each other, both backing off, realize that they maybe have had enough of that very extended fight. PostDRAMA kind of wanting to maybe go up there, get some wards, because definitely don't want to give this Oni Fury away for free. Can definitely try to contest it if they can, but now it looks like he's in a bit of a cheeky position here. Realty's here to try and peel with some damage, but now he's the target.
Yeah, Realty getting dropped off by Tatri and Puss, but is going to have to jump away. Will be okay for now, but the Sunbreakers front line is here to cause some havoc in the jungle for Flourish.
Certainly is. But man, this
if you see this, they're on fire right now. Sunbreakers, this is all just toying with the Flourish squad, as there is 3 strong right now on
They're
fire.
low. They're too low.
Oh, they are very low though. They might be able to not even get it. Szax gets one, but Flourish
got it.
Flourish strip it away. That's 2 down, up into the Windfire Wheels. Is Shady gonna bring up 1? Szax goes down, but A1 claims up RemarkableWolf. And Blink being having to be used is gonna find 1, but A1 is on a tear. Gonna have to use the beads to get rid of that. One more on doing, but Realty claims him down, and ShadyByrd is down and out. PusP is gonna be forced under the T2 in mid lane. But what a turnaround for Flourish. Gonna go in, and here comes PostDRAMA with the top. Gonna find 1 more on it, do it. And Realty, a double kill for the Baba Yaga, brings down the Surtur. And now it's a whole new ball game for Flourish.
What an unfortunate mistake by Sunbreakers. I mean, they were already ahead. It didn't really seem like they needed to go for that, what seemed almost like a Desperado Fire Giant. Because, again, they just weren't in a state where they really needed to. It was very stealable since Flourish stole it. And just since they didn't have any tank there, both tanks were being the distraction, but weren't even distracting everyone. So Sunbreakers lost the Fire Giant, ended up getting deicide. Now 4 members of Flourish have Fire Giant, and this is a completely different game now. Flourish take the lead in the gold.
Yeah, it's just, it doesn't even look like the same game anymore. If you told me that, you know, Sunbreakers had a good control out of most of this game, I don't even know if I'd believe you at this point, because Flourish pretty much took all that work that Sunbreakers was, you know, pumping the numbers for, and it doesn't even look comparable anymore. Now, this Pyro is going to drop down for Flourish again as well, so now Flourish extending the goal lead into their favor now, and there's been a new fire that has been ignited in this game.
Quite literally, the Fire Giant. But yeah, Flourish definitely need to take this opportunity. They can't wait around for too much longer. Need to push up some tier 2s. They're able to get that mid lane tier 2. Now I'm looking at this left side, which still has the tier 1 up. So I want to drop that down, maybe push further to the tier 2 ideally. It's definitely going to be a little bit rough still to try and push at Phoenix just because of how strong the Sunbreakers front line is, but you know, their defense potential carry wise is a little bit lacking just since they opted for the Pele as opposed to some big ability mage, like, you know, of course, your Merlin, Tiamat, Agni, even the Morgan Le Fay. So definitely not looking too bad for Flourish. They have an opportunity here. They need to take it.
Definitely. Right behind here, we do see Tena on the Pele. Are playing a lot of zone control for Sunbreakers right now. Finally gets scooped out. It might actually get picked out himself. It's going to force out the ultimate. And that Volcanic Lightning does get expanded to save his own life. But now is going to be looked up onto A1. A1 finds a whole bunch of Sunbreakers in his path. Gets taken up into the Windfire Wheels. Drops good into execute range. Is looking to try and find the execute here. Home sweet home is good. A1 claims up ShadyByrd. And there comes the defender with Olympus. Is going to go right on the post from the side. Is going to force out the starter ultimate. And it's going to retreat back under tower. RemarkableWolf, though, takes a chunk of damage and is super low under tower. But Flourish still pushing out strong, as they are still 4 strong by this T2 on left-hand side. Minions finally pushing in. Not too sure if we're going to see any push onto it, and doesn't look like they are, as PusPusioden walks up to the tower line, but won't aggress further from there, as now we are at a standstill on this T2.
Yeah, after all that happened, Flourish being forced to back away. Fire Giant buff has ran out. Now they need to get into position, place down some wards on the Fire Giant to just have a chance to keep this momentum up. You know, were able to get a pick on that siege, but not able to get anything out of it. That tier 2 still full HP, and so now they're definitely just focusing on this Fire Giant. We see all 5 members of the Sunbreakers grouping up. Flourish not far behind them, and now it's all going to come down to this.
Definitely, this Fire Giant is going to be super important to see how this game is going to go. You know, Flourish, they crawled themselves out to make this game, you know, back into 50-50 in the tides. Now let's see if they can get this fire to try and push themselves into the driver's seat.
Drive they want to.
They want to. Taunt coming out on PusPusioden, but isn't going to find much else. Sash is going to go in on the PostDRAMA, and PostDRAMA is the target right now. RemarkableWolf is going to drop him like a fly. Down goes the support of Flourish, and now Sunbreakers have free reign to really take a look at this fire with a supportless Flourish squad.
Yeah, it's definitely not how you want to start a Fire Giant engage. Szax as well, not quite here on time, slowly making his way over. Fire Giant about half HP, but these guys are split up. It's, you know, 2 people on 2 people. The
got off
carries.
Double, very nice double wolf coming up from RemarkableWolf, and Tana, no problem cleaning up that double kill for the Pele, looking very good there. And with that, we see Szax gonna hide around the corner, gonna try and see if we can't get another sneaky Fire Giant steal. But Tena cleans him out, but he doesn't even have a chance! Zexous decks him, and it's not shot for him as PusPusioden goes in. Szax going, defending the Olympus, will bring up the Windfire Wheel. Szax goes up into the sky, gonna drop him. Root coming up, won't be good, goes right into the destruction, but A1 will get the execute coming up from the fire. Will one more either do it. Szax gets the reset off of killing ShadyByrd, and this Kali is still alive and well. As next up on the menu is RemarkableWolf. Szax finds a double kill on the Kali. Fire Giant gonna get looked at by Flourish, and this should melt relatively quick with a Kali and an out Kwong belting the living smack out of this thing as Flourish is looking good and healthy. 5 strong, and fire goes down.
God, that was looking so good for the Sunbreakers. The whole fight had gotten split up. It started with the pick on the POSTDRAMA. They killed both of the carries on Flourish's side, but Szax just sitting in the back line, or just like on the other side of the Fire Giant pit, right on top of the ward. We saw 10 try and get in, get absolutely exploded. His team tries to come clean up. Szax ends up getting a reset, and that was just ends up Flourish taking a massive win there. 5 members of the with Fire Giant on them, and now this is just completely in Flourish's hands, and Sunbreakers is definitely gonna have to try to step up and defend this what once seemed like another pretty convincing game in favor of the Sunbreakers.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, really, Sunbreakers look like they pretty much had this one, and now it's starting to really look more like it's going in the Flourish's favor right now, as especially with a Primal Fairy also getting knocked down to boot. These towers are looking pretty tasty in the eyes of Flourish as they are pushing down for this left side T2 once again. Dash coming in, looking for a ton off the POSTDRAMA, goes right into the Valkyrie's Discretion, off a RemarkableWolf, and ShadyByrd is going to get up POSTDRAMA right. No big deal off that. Here comes the ultimate coming off from PusPusioden. Is going to land right onto A1. And it is go, go, go for the Sunbreakers. 10 is going to claim 1. A1 is down, but taking lots of damage now. Sunbreakers going to have to go onto the retreat. Tatri, super low, into the skies is DRXKILLXJOY, looking for one more, but Realty is going to claim it up himself. RemarkableWolf is going to go onto the exchange to claim up the bottle for himself. But blinking in is Tenet, and is going to learn the hard way. You shouldn't have done that. But PusPusioden finally claims up the equalizer as Szax is going to go down himself. As a very nice 4 down for Flourish against 2 for Sunbreakers. I like my odds with the Sunbreakers.
Wow, I had mentioned that Sunbreakers draft is a little bit lacking, I think, in the base defense potential, but I think I've been absolutely proven wrong. Is they have defended this tier 2 with their life, and Flourish haven't been able to touch it. I mean, this has been insane. They had 5 members of the Fire Giant up. Doesn't matter. They lost 2. Doesn't matter. Sunbreakers able to defend that tier 2. Now imagine if that were a Phoenix, even the Titan. Flourish have a lot more work to do if they want to break through the Sunbreakers front line, because it's just not going their way.
Yeah, and now it's looking like we're kind of back to anyone's game at this point. We see a nice little gold lead for Flourish, but we're getting to the part where people are starting to hit 20, builds are starting to get finalized. Sooner or later, all that extra gold is only going to get tossed towards wards or power potions at this point. So I'm interested to see when it kind of the lead doesn't seem to feel like a lead anymore.
Certainly not. I mean, what else is there really to say now? Seems like this might be the last Fire Giant. Hopefully, you want Flourish to be able to get it, just because they've come back from a game that was very rough, but they just haven't been able to do anything with the lead that they've garnered themselves. So Sunbreakers not letting up one bit, and now got 5 members grouping for this Fire Giant. Szax takes his back. Luckily, Fire Giant not quite up yet, so he has a little bit of time. But man, this is really an absolute coin toss for me, as Flourish have somehow taken this game from the absolute depths, but somehow Sunbreakers have prevented them from doing anything with the massive lead. So we're gonna have to just watch and find out.
Definitely, and already off to a right start. RemarkableWolf taking a brunt of damage is going to be forced into the ultimate and actually backs off that as well. So, you know, taking a chip out of that ADC, forcing them on the back foot is always a step in the right direction for Flourish. As Pyromancer does get picked up here and is going to drop no problem at all for Flourish. So we'll find that. And now it seems that they have more of the zone control coming off of Flourish in the fire pit versus Sunbreakers. But Puss is going to walk himself in with Tatri, gets a little bit of damage exchanged by DRKILLXJOY, and will be forced back onto his side of the pit for now.
Yeah, we have the ultimate of RemarkableWolf, as well as about 100 extra seconds on the bead. So if they're able to get a nice taunt onto RemarkableWolf, could spell the end. But he is definitely playing very safe in the backline. He understands that he's pretty vulnerable. Luckily, he has one of the strongest front lines I've seen this far in Season 2 of the Smite Draft League. They've been very impressive. PostDRAMA dashing in pretty deep.
PostDRAMA might have gotten in trouble there. Dashes out, but no dash to save him. He goes down. Tenebrises is going to go and going to secure off A1. Ultimate from Killjoy is good. But there comes the Valkyries distraction once again. Ten's going to find a double, but it's going to fall off to Realty. Home sweet home, going to be pumping out damage into the front line. But here comes the ultimate, and for PusP, it's going to go right on to DRKILLXJOY. Knockoff will be good. Damage is good. RemarkableWolf secures off the kill. And that's going to send the rest of Flourish back to their side of the map. As Fire does get picked up, I'm interested to see how well this is going to work out for Sunbreakers, as you have 2 tanks, 1 Freya, so we'll see if it drops or if Realty can stick around. But it looks like Realty back, so tons of time for Sunbreakers to drop this for the sake of it.
Yeah, Freya definitely has the potential of doing enough damage on there. Doesn't even look like Realty is going to step up, as nearly the entire rest of his team is dead. Maybe PostDRAMA would ult in on him, but
and they're gonna hold this for the respawn timers too.
Oh wow!
This is a very strong play coming out from Sunbreakers. Everyone up! Everyone has fire! That's 5 strong on EFG for the Sunbreakers.
Yeah, this might be the end of Flourish as we know it. Very smart. Tatri getting a little bit low, but not concerned. And honestly, I think Realty would have had pretty decent potential to step up, just because they had held it like that. Maybe get a cheeky steal, could have completely turned this game around. But now, with Sunbreakers having 5 members with enhanced Fire Giant, and as strong as they have been looking, despite even being down, despite with 5 members of the enemy team having a Fire Giant buff, I don't think Flourish is going to last much longer. But you know, maybe they still have all tier 2s up. They're definitely capable of defending this if they play it right, but it's not going to be an easy task.
Definitely. And you know, with Oni Fury also taken down off the Sunbreakers, you're going to have a little bit of extra pressure coming down those lanes now as well. So, you know, worse for wear also coming from up to Flourish. So they're really going to have to push out all these lanes the best they can, while also trying to deal with the Sunbreakers pushing down lanes, as left-hand side is being looked at from the majority. But PusP finds a lonely szax in mid lane and will push him back on the tower. T2 falls in left-hand side, and the rest of Sunbreakers are around. Might be looking towards a Phoenix, but might not, as the rest of Flourish also joins up to defend.
Gonna be a tough task to defend these Phoenixes. We see a little bit of split up just because of how strong and confident Sunbreakers are, kind of also splitting up the defense of Flourish, but a little cheeky standstill, trying to wait for minions to come in, but now Poseidon goes in.
Poseidon goes in mid. Szax gets cleaned up by Tenebrises, and onto the left-hand side. The rest of the fight's going in too. PusP cleans up one, but A1 cleans up Tene. Tene is finally out of here. And with this mid, PusP has done a number onto this Phoenix. It is already like 35% left. Is finally going to get pushed out, but still has tons of minions. pouring in, and he's going to be able to claim up this Phoenix for himself. It's going to go right down, up into the skies. Is DRKILLXJOY looking for a few shots. Is not going to find it. Home sweet home goes up, but won't be confiding as he goes down into the back. Is DRKILLXJOY, gets looked at by PusP. Is going to claim one more, and PusP is on a taking down DRKILLXJOY in the Titan room. And Sunbreakers will finally join them to try and finish off this game. This set, Tatri gets taunted, but won't be enough. And RemarkableWolf finally puts down POSTDRAMA one last time to seal off this game for the Sunbreakers as they take the set 2-0.
You're going to hear all about it here in the death segment coming up right away. We'll be back soon.
I could get drunk off the lights of a city. Late night phone calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't. Drop my phone now, that shit's broken. 2 a.m. and I'm
As a crazy game one from what we saw into game two, which was a complete teeter-totter of a game between Flourish and Sunbreakers. What do you say about game two other than holy cow, what did I just see?
Yeah, teeter-totter, I think, explains it very perfectly. Sunbreakers coming out strong immediately. It seemed like the game was going very well for them, but despite this, Flourish able to make a few key victories and shift the game back into their favor. Doesn't matter though, as Sunbreakers just looked impenetrable. The incredible defenses that tier 2 just did not go down the whole game despite Flourish's best efforts, and ultimately it came down to that very last enhanced fire giant. Unfortunately, Flourish lost that fight, and that sealed the fate for the entire set for them. Incredible game by Sunbreakers, but honestly pretty well played by Flourish as well. Can't take away credit where it's due.
Yeah, what else do you really say other than that? They really were able to step up. I think A1 had a great game on the outquarreling, despite us not being too sure about how it would do going into the solo lane. And I think he found a lot of key picks and a lot of fights when he was able to. We weren't entirely sure about how Szax would do on the Kali either, but I think the Kali had, you know, an even greater game, I'd say. Yeah, I think PostDRAMA found a lot of great taunts as well on the Athena. 111 doesn't really shed a light on how close the game really was, but I think he still had a great game on the Athena too.
Yeah, I think Szax played very well on that call. He definitely kept his team in times where it was looking rather helpless. But I mean, you know, all credit to the Sunbreakers. They played a great set, very great understanding of map play, positioning, and even that nice little flex at the end where they held the fire giant for all 5 members, and the game didn't last much longer after that. So, you know, that was a great set. Yeah, I really enjoyed watching that. I really enjoyed casting that, and yeah, I'm excited for more Smite Draft League.
Yeah, and that's all for us for this one. So thank you all for joining us for this set of Sunbreakers versus Flourish once again. Thanks to all the players who played. Thank you everyone for helping on production with iNooblet as our cameraman. And with all said and done, once again, my name is Zexous,
I'm Cosmic Warrior,
and that'll do it for us. Take it easy and have a good night.
Catch a break.